Hello, everybody. So today I want to talk about Robinhood and Robinhood Gold more specifically, and their announcement of their new gold card, the 3% back credit card. The last time I covered Robinhood was about 2 months ago, and I was thoroughly impressed. And I had said that I would give you an update if I buy the stock. Well, it turns out I did buy the stock. At around 11, 12 bucks shortly after that video for my He Must Do Something portfolio. And I did because this company is just so consumer centric, and I can't help but see it succeed, especially as some of the backlash from 2021 is fading, and a lot of the customers are forgetting about what happened with the whole GameStop debacle and coming back to Robinhood, because at some point the product speaks for itself. And there were two announcements in yesterday's yesterday's live stream that you can still find on Robinhood's YouTube. One of these announcements, which I found to be perhaps even more impressive than the credit card that I'll get to in a second, is the 1% cash back, 1% back. They call it the deposit boost. 1% deposit boost in the brokerage account. And this is so impressive. Robinhood is literally paying you to use them as a broker, which is something nobody else does, which is amazing. If you put $1 million, you get $10,000 back. Put $100K, get $1K back in deposit boost. This is quite stunning, and that's in addition to a 3% IRA match, which again seems too good to be true. But now that I've transferred some IRAs to Robinhood, I can tell you this is not too good to be true. They actually gave me my 3% match. That's a lot to love as a consumer of Robinhood. There's a lot to love. And for someone like me, and like many of you watch this channel, I assume, for me, most of my disposable income goes to stocks. This is very appealing. Getting 1% extra on stocks, this is very appealing. Imagine over the long run, you see a lot of YouTube channels fighting about 1% on say the long-term return of S&P 500, saying, on average it yields 8% per year if you invest in an S&P 500 index fund. Well, if you're that person and you get a 1% boost for every deposit, all of a sudden you're increasing from 8 to 9% your return on all deposits. So all of a sudden you're increasing your total return by 13%. If you are a standard S&P 500 index investor, that's a 12 to 13% boost on your return just because you get 1% extra whenever you put $1,000, $10,000 and more. I mean, this is quite stunning. And in my view, Robinhood here, they're borrowing from the crypto playbook. And that's why they are very in sync with their generation. They're very in sync with Gen Z, with younger millennials. Robinhood literally pays users for using the service. People are getting paid for using the service, and this is something that they do in place of marketing. Invest very little in marketing and take the money that you would have put into marketing and put it into rewarding your users and creating a customer-centric product. This is, by the way, no different from what a lot of younger people are used to with crypto projects, with what they call a airdrop, right? So airdrop is, let's say you use this cryptocurrency, you use this trading platform, you use this service from any of these crypto companies. They oftentimes give airdrops and will send you a token of appreciation for just using the service. Robinhood is doing that with its 1% back for using the brokerage. This is also very similar to digital wallets acquisition strategy where they give you $10 just in order for you to install and set up the wallet. Robinhood is doing that, but at the scale of a broker, at the scale of money under management. It's hard to imagine, in my view, how legacy brokers will compete if this becomes widespread knowledge. And given the fact that Robinhood is trending on Twitter right now, I have a feeling that this will slowly grow into widespread knowledge. A lot of marketing a lot of, oh, but it's an unproven broker type fear will need to be put out there in order for legacy brokers to not see massive outflows. I think they will see massive outflows because why wouldn't you? If you move $1 million to Robinhood, you get $10,000. Why wouldn't you do that, right? It's like a lot of people are going to take advantage of that. This is also similar to Tesla versus legacy auto. If you follow that whole debate, Tesla doesn't believe in advertising because they think the product speaks for itself, but most folks still don't realize how cheap, say, electric vehicles are due to heavy advertising from legacy auto. And, sometimes I think it's a 4D chess move, getting your competitor to advertise to try to keep their customers, while really you have the superior product and people slowly realize you have a superior product through word of mouth and other things like that. And on February 3rd of 2024, I actually covered Hood for the first time on the channel, and I noted, what did I say? That a permanent 3% cashback was likely coming, and that was based on the X1 credit card, what that used to do. That was also based on the number 3. It seems like Robinhood does a lot of things in threes. I covered that on February 3, 2024, so not long ago at all. And unfortunately, since I covered that, the stock is up 90% since when I covered this. So it's kind of too bad. I bought some then. I should have bought more. I think this is a situation that a lot of Hood investors feel they are in, where you should have maybe bought more. I mean, I feel like I should have bought more, but that's okay. I'm happy with what I own. I'm not adding to Robinhood at these levels, although I am considering increasing my position as a customer. So I had said 3% cash back. Well, guess what? This is exactly what happened. 3% cash back. So I've been lucky lately. I don't know what to say. This is lucky, but this is what they offered, the 3% cash back across the board. This is extremely compelling. The product is 50% better than the current best product out there, which is the City Double Cash. The City Double Cash gives you 2% back. This product is 3%, so it's 50% better. But it's also worth noting that the City Double Cash is actually a 2 times 1%. 1% when you pay, 1% when you repay, or when you bring your credit card balance down to 0. So actually, if people, and some people do that, if people want to hold a balance on their credit card for whatever reason, the Robinhood card becomes much more compelling because you get 3% cash back when you pay. So that becomes more compelling than the City Double Cash if you're someone who carries the balance. I don't do that. Most people don't do that, but some people do that. And so if you do that, that's even more compelling. And Hood, really, with their real gold card, if you refer to 10 friends, you may have seen this. They really have a connection to popular culture. Actually, you can see a lot of people online who are trying to promote the card because they want to get the gold card. And I think it was very clever of them to do it. If you refer only 10 friends, you get the gold card. And Hood has planted seeds in marketing. This is clever marketing. This is much better than just paying a bunch of money to advertise on CNBC or some old legacy media. This is their marketing. They figured out a few NBA players who wanted to use the card as jewelry, and they designed the card as like jewelry. It's a necklace, comes with a necklace, and you have your Robinhood card. And sure enough, they got the pictures of NBA players wearing the card. This is similar, in my view, to a few months back. If you followed the pink card from Cash App, these companies try to be culturally connected with their times, and surely the NBA has more of a youthful following in the United States, and as a result of that, a lot of people are going to think it's very cool, maybe, to wear the card. So we are trying to do a phenomenon like this. Nonetheless, doesn't matter if you're into getting the card to show off, which a lot of people do. That's why if you looked at the presentation, they spent quite a bit of time talking about how it's a gold card. That's one aspect why people use these cards. If you don't do it to show off, but if you do it for 3% cash back, that's the best. That's absolutely outstanding. Especially if, say, you're a family, you're spending a lot of money, $10,000, you get $300 back. That is really good. That's actually better than most cards I can think of. And at 3% back, you're even getting into the territory of being better than a lot of the best travel cards out there, because these best travel cards, sometimes they give you 4.5% back if you use the points to move to their travel platform. Well, Robinhood is set out to beat that. Now, they haven't explained it much, but they're saying that if you want to use it for travel, it will be 5% back on all travel with that card. And that's definitely better than the premium cards if you have 5% back on travel. The last thing I'll say is, as you notice, they walked us through the presentation in the announcement, in the live announcement, but nowhere was it mentioned a credit score inquiry. And so what I'm wondering, we don't know that yet, but what I'm wondering is there going to be a credit score inquiry? It seems to me like social security numbers are only going to be required to check your identity, but not necessarily to do a credit score inquiry. If they don't do credit score inquiries for their credit card, that would be a revolution, an absolute revolution. And I also wonder how that card is going to work with the brokerage account. Because what a lot of people have pointed out is it's risky. Opening a credit card business is risky because of delinquencies. Well, what if they grant the credit card based on how much money there is on the brokerage account, right? If someone has $100,000 on the brokerage account and you give a $10,000 credit limit, really the risk is minimal because they have $100,000 in the brokerage account. So where's your risk? Do you really need a credit score? You have minimal risk, and I would assume that in the contract they would write somewhere that if you can't pay off your credit card, well, maybe we're going to sell some of your stock or we're going to draw on your margin. So the question is still out there as to the credit score will be needed. In my view, to the best of my understanding, it seems like they're not going to pull credit scores because if you look at the presentation, Vlad said it was also a card for beginners, and beginner credit cards don't take into account credit scores, and they use your savings elsewhere. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work. They're releasing it in a few weeks. So zooming out, Hood is up 90% from February 2024. Lows, at least the lows as far as I'm concerned, from when I covered it, is actually up way more if you bought it throughout 2023, even late 2022. It's tough to analyze these companies. It's tough for me to tell you whether this company is expensive or not. My spreadsheet clearly says that it's an expensive company, but my spreadsheet works better for traditional SaaS, for your traditional sales growth companies. The way you grow a brokerage company is entirely different from the way you grow most companies. For these companies like Robinhood, it's all about growing the assets under management and increasing that number, because once you have assets on the platform, they typically stay there a long time, or at least as long as you have the best product, the assets stay there a long time. So that's the game that Robinhood is playing. This is a business that you can only assess, I believe, through more qualitative analysis. But if you're being more objective about the future revenue growth potential of this company, well, in my view, it is enormous. It is enormous because cryptocurrency is coming back. There is a cycle going on right now. I don't know if you've looked at the price of Bitcoin, but we are in a cycle. Alternative currencies, alts, Solana, things like that are also spiking. A lot of things in crypto is spiking. Now, granted, Robinhood has not the widest offer of crypto, but they do have quite a bit of important cryptos, and that's namely Dogecoin and Bitcoin. And if you follow social media, if you follow the youth, Dogecoin is also doing very well right now. And so because it's back, my feeling is that revenues are going to be up because of trading. And we'll see. What if 2024 is a great year for crypto trading, and 2025? Well, we might see major increases in revenue growth, which would make this company cheap. I'm happy with my position in Robinhood. It was a he must do something portfolio position that doubled. I am not adding at these prices. I much preferred it 50% off. But I think this is a great company to be a customer of, in my view, and I am a customer of Robinhood. And when that 1% on brokerage accounts get rolled out, I'm going to be looking at what transfers I can do with the ACATs, because it's so easy, it's so convenient. and you get 1% back. Why not? Anyways, this was not investment advice. This was no financial advice. This was no advice to become a customer or not a customer, or no advice whatsoever. This is just entertainment. Hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.